Derek has zero debt. Maria owes $412,000. Guess who's building more wealth right now, this second, while you're watching this? If you guessed Derek, you're about to be very uncomfortable because you've probably been taught the exact same lesson he has. Debt bad, no debt good, sleep easy at night. That lesson is half true, and it is quietly keeping a huge number of people broke. My name is Jack, and today we're breaking down the one financial skill almost nobody teaches you. Not get out of debt, but know which debt is a weapon and which debt is a wound. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll never look at a loan the same way again. Derek is proud, genuinely proud. He paid off his last credit card 3 years ago. He drives a car he bought in cash, and if you ask him about debt, he'll tell you it's a trap for suckers. He rents his apartment because buying means going into debt, and every dollar he saves sits in a regular checking account, untouched, because touching it feels risky. Maria, meanwhile, looks like a financial disaster on paper. She's got a $380,000 mortgage on a house she bought 2 years ago. She's got a small business loan she used to buy equipment. On paper, Derek looks like the responsible one, and Maria looks like she's one bad month away from collapse. Here's the twist nobody sees coming. 10 years from now, Derek is going to be roughly where he is today, just older. Maria is going to be worth multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars more than him. Same effort, same income bracket, same starting point. The entire difference comes down to one thing Derek never learned. Debt isn't good or bad. Debt is a tool, and the only question that matters is what you're using it to build. Right now, American households are carrying a record $18.8 trillion in total debt. That number alone tells you nothing, because buried inside it are two completely different species of debt wearing the same name. The first species is debt used to buy things that lose value the moment you own them, financed at brutal interest rates. The second species is debt used to buy things that either grow in value or grow your income, financed at rates that are often cheaper than what the asset itself earns you. Same word, opposite outcomes. Here's where Derek actually goes wrong, and it's not obvious. He thinks he's avoiding debt. He's not. He's avoiding leverage entirely, including the kind that would have made him richer. Meanwhile, the debt that's genuinely dangerous, the kind he actually should avoid, is exactly the kind most people default into without thinking twice. Let's talk about the debt that deserves its bad reputation, because it earns it. The average American is now carrying $6,715 in credit card debt, and the average interest rate on a balance you're actually paying interest on sits above 21%. Do the math on that, because the math is where the horror lives. Carry an average balance and make only the minimum payment, and Bankrate's own numbers show you could be in debt for over 14 years, paying nearly as much in interest as the original balance itself. You're not paying off a couch or a vacation anymore. You're paying rent to a bank forever on money you already spent. This is consumption debt, and here's the tell that separates it from every other kind. The thing you bought is worth less the moment you own it, and it does nothing to earn you money back. The car depreciates, the vacation is a memory, the electronics are obsolete in 2 years. You're financing disappearing value at 21% interest, and that math never ever works in your favor. Derek avoided this trap entirely, and credit where it's due, that instinct saved him. But he made a second mistake nobody warned him about. He assumed all debt was this debt. He never learned there was a different category sitting right next to it, wearing the same name, playing an entirely different game. Maria's mortgage sits at a little over 6% interest. That number looks scary next to zero, but here's what that 6% is actually buying her. A physical asset that historically appreciates over time, one she can live in for free once it's paid off, one that a renter is essentially paying for on her behalf every single month through the payment she collects, or one she simply lives in while equity quietly builds behind her. Her business loan follows the same logic, just faster. She borrowed to buy equipment that lets her take on more clients. If that equipment lets her earn more than the loan costs her in interest and payments combined, the debt isn't a burden, it's a multiplier. She's not paying to make something disappear, she's paying to make something grow, and the growth outpaces the cost. This is the entire secret hiding in plain sight. Good debt is debt where the thing you bought is working harder for you than the interest rate is working against you. Bad debt is debt where nothing is working for you at all, just quietly draining you every month. Same paperwork, same word debt, completely different math running underneath it. And this is exactly why Derek, who has zero debt and feels proud of it, is going to end up behind Maria, who has nearly $500,000 of it and sleeps just fine. He didn't avoid risk, he avoided leverage, including the leverage that would have compounded in his favor for a decade. Quick gut check before we keep going. Think about every loan or balance you're currently carrying. For each one, ask yourself one question. Is this thing working for me, or am I working for it? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm curious how many of you have debt you've never actually sorted into either bucket. And if this framework is clicking for you, subscribe, because we break down exactly this kind of everyone thinks they understand it, but nobody actually does money topic every week. So how do you tell the difference in your own life, not in a hypothetical story? 3 questions. First, does the interest rate on this debt sit below what the underlying asset or opportunity can reasonably be expected to earn or save you? A mortgage around 6.5% against a home that historically appreciates and shelters you from ever-rising rent clears that bar. A credit card sitting above 21% financing a purchase that loses value the second you own it does not. Second, is the thing you borrowed for still worth something a year from now, or is it gone? A degree that increases your earning power? Still there. A rental property? Still there. A weekend trip on a credit card? Gone. But the balance and the interest are very much still there. Third, and this is the one people skip, can you actually afford the payment without it controlling your decisions? Good debt used recklessly, over-leveraging into a house you can't actually afford, still turns bad. The category doesn't save you from bad math, it just means the math is favorable if you respect it. Run every balance you carry through those 3 questions. You'll probably find your own version of Derek's mistake or Maria's mistake sitting somewhere in your own accounts right now. Here's the part that should actually bother you. Total credit card debt in America just crossed $1.25 trillion, and close to a quarter of people carrying a balance genuinely believe they will never pay it off. That's not a math problem, that's a category problem. Millions of people are financing disappearing value at over 20% interest while being terrified of the one kind of debt, mortgages, low-rate business loans, that could have actually been building them wealth this entire time. Meanwhile, the same fear that keeps people out of good debt keeps them renting instead of owning, keeps them turning down loans that would grow their income, keeps them sitting on cash instead of ever picking up the one tool that, used correctly, is the fastest lever available to an ordinary person's net worth. So back to Derek and Maria. 10 years from now, Derek still has zero debt, and he's still proud of it. And he's also still renting, still driving an aging car, still exactly where he started, just with more gray hair. Maria's mortgage is a third paid down. Her equity has grown for a decade, and the equipment loan she was once nervous about got paid off by the business it helped her build years ago. Neither of them is reckless. Neither of them is a genius. The entire 10-year gap between them comes down to one decision, made early and repeated quietly every year since. Maria learned to ask what the debt was buying her. Derek never asked the question at all. If you've been avoiding every kind of debt because you were taught it's all the same, that instinct isn't stupid, it's just incomplete. The goal was never zero debt. The goal is zero debt working against you. Hit subscribe if this shifted how you think about your own balances, and comment which bucket, good or bad, most of your current debt actually falls into. Next video, we're breaking down the 401k match mistake that's quietly costing the average worker over $40,000 and why 1 in 4 people are walking right past it. I'll see you there.